This is going to be your August general reading for 2018. Pardon me, I'm just okay. I apologize for these coming out so late yet again. This retrograde season has been throwing me off big time. So this is going to be for the rest of August 2018 for Virgo rising, sun, and moon sign. This was the best lighting that I could come up with, so we're just going to go completely informal. I'm on the floor, so I won't be able to show you the layout, but I can at least hold up the cards where you can see them. I've actually been having a heck of a time getting these things out because Mars retrograde has been in my second house of the body, and normally I'm a very graceful person. I hardly ever have accidents, but I've had probably something like 6 accidents over the past week. I wrenched my shoulder out. I knocked a big egg on my head by accident. I burned 2 of my fingers. One of my fingers is half numb. I bonked both of my elbows. And not to mention technical difficulties. I live in a really small rural area where the internet signal in general for everyone is kind of crappy. But for the past 3 days, my signal here has been almost non-existent. And then, of course, when I was trying to upload videos, some weird technology stuff happened, and then it finally got straightened out. So, enough rambling. Here, let me position this. Okay. So I'm going to do an 11-card Celtic cross spread. And after I pick the cards and lay them out, I'll lift them up so you can see them. This is in Virgo rising, sun, and moon signs, highest, best, good, along with whatever they most need to hear right now. Okay. Hopefully the Mercury retrograde and all of the retrogrades going on right now are treating you better than they've been treating me. This is always the most boring part, so if this is too boring for you, feel free to fast forward if you would like. Virgo's best, highest, good. Okay. Okay, I'll try to make sense out of this for you. I think I'm going to pause this for a moment just so I can rearrange the cards. Hang on. Here I am. Okay. I'm going to show you your cards. Your central experience for the month of August is the Princess of Swords. Your challenge or countering situation to that is death. What's hindering you is the Knight of Swords, or helping. It could be both. At your root or your core, there's the Ten of Pentacles. Your recent past is the Ten of Swords. I pulled a number of clarifiers to go with some of the cards in here, just to let you know I pulled some clarifiers with this. As your best possible outcome, you have the Four of Wands. In your near future, you have the Six of Pentacles. Very good. These two came out together. This is you right now. Is the Knight of Cups and the Three of Wands. And just so you know, in case you don't know, Mercury goes direct on the 18th of August. In your surroundings is the Wheel of Fortune. Your hopes, the Queen of Cups. Your general outcome is the Princess of Cups. You have two princesses in here. I believe those two princesses came out a lot last month for a number of different signs. They may have even come out in yours, but I can't remember. You may want to look at your July reading. Because I started last month's readings late, they actually are carrying over into this month up till whenever you see these current ones. So I think what's happening is that I'm actually in tune with the lunar calendar and not the solar calendar, because if I looked at the lunar calendar, I'm actually putting these all out on time, which would make a lot of sense for me because in my Vedic chart, I'm actually a Cancer. I actually have, in my Vedic chart, I have 5 things in Cancer, or 4 things, yeah. So you may want to read last month's reading on my channel for you if you haven't watched that already. Let's see if some of this carries on. So your central experience for the month of August is all about communication. And it's also receiving messages or getting information if you need information. But how you go about getting this information is from a very light-hearted, relaxed, flexible attitude, which is wonderful. With Mercury being retrograde, it seems like so far you guys are doing okay. You may need some kind of information on the behalf of a child or children. If that doesn't ring true, then you're definitely looking for some kind of communication, possibly emails, phone calls, running into people you need to speak with. You may have some new ideas brewing, in which case you're looking for more information to add to this initial idea, more inspiration, more ideas, perhaps even collaborating with other people. This is all about light-hearted, transformative communication. So she is definitely not serious. She's very playful and experimental in how she communicates. So this is your central vibration for this month, is to cultivate this in your life. You may already just having this, you may already have this in your life at this time. So your countering situation to that is death, which is kind of a big deal to have as what's your challenge in this matter. So I pulled another card to go with it, which is also a major arcana card. They both are. So it seems like you're having to face a great deal of challenges at this time, or what you're challenged with at this time is a very long-standing thing that's been going on for quite some time, and you're finally addressing it now. So to me, this leads me to believe that perhaps you need to let something go in order to move forward. And perhaps you're having a hard time letting this go so that you can move forward. Perhaps this thing is not easy to let go of. But it definitely has to do with a total transformation when it comes to your goals, or where you are headed, where you would like to be headed in your life, and what you're trying to accomplish at this time, or where you're trying to go. This could also be car troubles too. Maybe maybe for some of you, your car dies. Something. Be very careful with traveling this month. Make sure that you do a lot of planning involved with it, and also to pay attention. Pay attention while you're on the road. But also, I'm feeling like you're trying to get information, and you need this information somewhat urgently, or you're afraid if you don't get it on time, certain things will fall through. Something. We'll see what else we can get out of this. So what's helping you or hindering you is the Knight of Swords. I believe you got this card in your last reading for July on speaking up somehow. This leads me to believe that perhaps you did speak up, and you did get some pretty good results from it, but you feel as though you weren't completely heard, or things aren't happening fast enough. So what is helping you is to continue to speak up. And considering you have the Princess of Swords as your central experience, make sure that you're speaking up, but also that you're doing it in a lighthearted manner without getting too combative with how you communicate. That may also be telling you that that is your strategy, or what you should be focusing on this month in order to deal with this guy. So this could be a woman or a man, but it's definitely somebody possibly that you need information from, or you need to talk with about something important, and they tend to be combative with how they communicate, or possibly over defensive in how they communicate, or just is not a very good listener. So in dealing with difficult communication situations with other people, make sure you approach it with the Princess of Swords. So if we compare these two, they belong to the same suit, but they're very different in energy. One is lighthearted, carefree, flexible, and experimenting with communication. And the other one is very combative in how he communicates. So make sure you're definitely going with the princess rather than the knight. If you have to deal with a Knight of Swords type character in your life, deal with it in the Princess of Swords style. So I picked a clarifier to go with the Knight of Swords to help me explain it, and I got Judgment. So I'm getting that you are done with being nice. You really do need some kind of information in order to move forward. You may be able to bypass whoever you're trying to deal with to a different group, or a higher ups, or go around this person somehow to get what you need. But this tells me that you need to make some major choices in your life on what you're choosing to go with and what you're choosing to let go of. This is kind of reminding me of death. Keep in mind, this is what's helping you or hindering you. I'm getting that The Knight of Swords in his combativeness is what's hindering you, but Judgment is helping you. So if we look at these together, they're both Plutonic cards. Judgment is ruled by the planet Pluto, which is the ruler of Scorpio, and Death is a Scorpio Plutonic card. So both of these have to do with the same energy. They're just two slightly different forms of it. So with Death, it has to do with letting go, releasing, and letting something lie in peace. Finally, letting go of something. And this can be many, many things in your life. Usually it's a big deal though, because it's the major arcana. So this is letting go of, some scenarios could be letting go of a job, some could be letting go of a home, some could be letting go of money even. Some people, it could be letting go of love or letting go of a family situation. It can be letting go of any number of things. It can also be an internal process of letting go of an old way of thinking, or an old way of communicating, or an old way of perceiving yourself, an old way of perceiving other people. You know more than me on what this has to do with, but generally death is something that you have outgrown or that is no longer serving you, and it's time to let it lie in peace so that you can move on and evolve. Judgment, however, is about the dead rising again. It's about things that were dormant or that we thought were dead that come back to life. Oftentimes, this is a sense of purpose in life or inspiration of what you would like to do with your life. This can be old talents that you used to have that you thought were dead, and all of a sudden they come back and you're re-inspired again. It can also be reuniting with people that you thought you would never see again. So with death as your countering experience and then judgment as what's helping you, don't fear this death process as something that is completely permanent. It generally represents a transition or a metamorphosis or a transformation rather than a complete ending. Sometimes it is a complete ending. But what I'm getting here is that whatever you think is lost is most likely probably not lost. And if you take action now and really speak up on whatever this has to do with, I see you as recovering whatever this is. Hopefully that makes sense to you. It's kind of a vague way of explaining it, but okay. At your core, you have the Ten of Pentacles, so you may be focusing on family at this time. You may be considering the needs of a lot of other people besides yourself. This could have to do with community pursuits. This could have to do with working with groups of people. This can definitely have to do with sharing of resources. It can have to do with celebration of hard work, of the fruition that comes from hard work, the harvest. So this is you celebrating your harvest with other people. You've done a lot already, and you may possibly be at the very end of some kind of process, and it's a cause for celebration with people in your family, your dear friends, loved ones, and your community. This can also be you're feeling very deeply at this time the need to prepare or gather things for the future to make sure that everyone has what they need. And there's definitely an emphasis on family and bringing family together. So, yeah, I feel like your main center or focus is on making sure that everyone has their needs met. And a reaching out and wanting everyone to combine their energies more in order to bolster up power, money, health, bolster up anything that's good for the community. So hopefully that makes sense. In your recent past, you have the Ten of Swords, which speaks of some kind of a painful ending, or things didn't end the way that you expected them to, or things from the past are coming back to you on things that haven't worked out. Perhaps this has been being triggered by this death process of having to let go. So this may be remembering things from the past that were painful. This can also be about having something happen recently that reactivated those old wounds. I pulled 2 clarifiers to go with this to help me explain it. And I got these 2. To me, it feels like things didn't come about quite the way that you expected. Perhaps you were brave and you did stand in your power and you did speak up or you tried to accomplish something, but something about it caused you to feel like there was a letdown, or you weren't able to do as much as you wanted to. Or perhaps this could be a possible relationship with someone where you felt like you could truly create with this person. And this may even be a long-standing relationship, but there have been some things going on, strokes of bad luck or things being reactivated from the past that have made you feel not completely content or happy. It's almost like you wish you could do more or something. Yeah, let's leave that be because that's in your past. So as your best possible outcome, you have the 4 of Wands, which is wonderful. This says, as your best possible outcome, as your highest potential, you are able to lay down a foundation. And that's funny. That just brought to mind some kind of vision of like a non-profit organization or some kind of place for community events, or working with groups of people, laying down a actual foundation, like something related to humanitarianism, or what's the word? Charity, I guess, is one of the words I could use for that. But that may just be one possibility here. Is your best possible outcome is to lay down a foundation. Whatever you would like to lay a foundation on, you know more than me on what this is about. This could be a foundation on a business. It could be a foundation of a long-standing project. It could be a long-standing home, a long-standing relationship. But it's still in the beginning stages, but it's at a point now where your best possible outcome is that it will remain stable and it isn't going anywhere, which means you can add to it over time. This is the basic foundation layout of whatever it is that you're doing. So this looks very solid to me, like you can depend on this. And because you have death as your challenge, along with the Chariot, and because you have Judgment, perhaps this is something that you have wanted to do for quite some time, or something that you've been planning on doing. And something about releasing things is making way for you to be able to do this, or this is in response to things falling away. Hey, hang on one moment. Hello again. I had to do an emergency reading for someone. Okay, back to business. Where were we? I think we were on this one. Your best possible outcome. Your best possible outcome is that whatever you have been trying to achieve, do, or build on will be successful, and you will have a long-standing, good, solid foundation to begin this new project on, or whatever it is. It doesn't have to be a project. The near future, you have the 6 of Pentacles, which is you will be funded, gifted. You may receive a gift or some kind of assistance, or you may be called upon to have an equal exchange, to be able to fund something yourself, or to gather people together to combine their resources to begin something new. I feel like this has to do with that foundation that is your best possible outcome. That aside, I would read this as total reciprocal energy going on in your near future. If you need anything, you will receive it. If anyone else needs anything, you will give it, and so on. And it always is a nice circular, self-sustainable energy. This is also about equal giving and taking with all different kinds of relationships, whether it's romantic relationships, family relationships, friendships, all different kinds of relating. And this not only has to be just in the human realm, it can be with animals and plants as well, where everything is taking its own, doing its own part to make sure that everything is running well. So this is wonderful. Let me see if I can get any more information about this. Okay, strength. Stay strong, believe in yourself, be gentle yet firm about your own boundaries. Don't give up. If there's something you're trying to do, don't give up. You don't have to hurry. You can pace yourself, but don't give up on this process, whatever this is. Also, your foundation will be strong. Whatever it is that you're trying to get help with, you should be successful in this. Interesting. Okay. You right now are the Knight of Cups with the Three of Wands. So you are feeling re-inspired. You're feeling more positive. Perhaps you had some kind of a setback where you started to doubt what you were doing, or started to doubt that these things could actually come about. But it looks like you are feeling more hopeful or positive about the future. And I'm getting, if this does concern relationships, this looks like a very nice beginning of a relationship where you can actually really relate to each other on lots of different levels, where you can have your heart fed with what you need. If this isn't about relationships and this is just where you're at right now, you want to share your gifts with the world. You want to expand and have your gifts be available to more people out there. Or you're definitely feeling a resurgence of hope and positive energy towards your own future on where you would like to see yourself go and the things that you would like to do. So this is wonderful. And you may receive some kind of an invitation for some kind of travel or gathering, and I would suggest that you go. It's with very genuine people. So in your surroundings, you have the Wheel of Fortune. So this leads me to believe if you have had setbacks or if you've become temporarily discouraged, perhaps because of a lack of enough movement based off of your efforts in the past, things are definitely going to be moving now and in a good direction. Things are coming together. The weavings are being gathered. So expect good things to happen and also for things to speed up, especially in your surroundings. But trust these changes, trust this evolvement of things, even though there may be some things that come up that are unexpected. They will be blessings in disguise, even if they seem like they're upsets. But I'm not getting upsets. I'm getting that you will have some kind of a breakthrough, or you'll definitely start to see things move in the near future, or even presently. As your hopes are to honor your own emotions, take good care of yourself, to nurture others, nurture yourself, feel nourished and fed and taken care of. And something to do with women, possibly. Okay. Your general outcome is another princess. You have the Princess of Cups, and actually, pardon me. Now that I look at it, your hopes and your general outcome are a mother and daughter from the same suit. So I'm definitely getting something in here about needing to protect mothers and children, or wanting to do some kind of project that involves this kind of thing, or just hoping that you will have the nurturing that you need and that your own inner child will be fed. Since you have two princesses in here, this is your central experience for August, and that is your general outcome. Is to speak from your heart, stay clean energetically in how you're dealing with other people, and really pay attention to what truly matters to you at your deepest core of your being. Work on playfully, creatively communicating with people, with being flexible, with staying hopeful, with staying inspired. And also, I'm getting a lot to do with brilliant new ideas and wanting to implement them and possibly work with other people on this thing. So also, if you have children in your life, I see your children as bringing you a lot of blessings at this time, and it's important for you to open up conversations with them about things like their sensitivity or their feelings or what they would like to do creatively with their gifts. It feels like if this is about your children are extremely gifted and need a lot of encouragement in developing their own abilities. So hopefully that made sense. I'm going to show you your two outcomes. Your two outcomes. Your best possible outcome is to lay down a nice solid foundation on something new that you can continue to grow in the future. Continue to work on, possibly by partnering up with other people. This can also be a relationship thing too, in which case it looks like a new solid foundation for a relationship that will continue to last and grow over time. Perhaps if that's true, there's a child in the mix, and if that's true, then I see this child as feeling completely blessed and happy with this new movement of things. They feel like they belong, which is really nice. If this doesn't have to do with a romantic relationship or a child in the mix, this basically just says to follow your heart, remain flexible, don't give up on your dreams, and that you have a very good chance of laying down a solid foundation on something. Okay, hopefully that made sense to you. Because they're general readings, I try my best to be vague rather than specific with these things, because I know that there are a lot of different people out there that all share Virgo energy, and not all of them are going to be in the same situations as each other. But hopefully that was worth the wait, and I will see you next time. Many blessings to you. I wish you all the best.